On Guard with David Krayden. I am your host, David Krayden, and I'm very pleased again to welcome Bahira Abdulsalam back to the show. And we're going to talk about the Million Person March that is slated for September 20th. And just after this brief intro.
So we are in a very precarious position in this country. We need political change, but we also need to resolve to resist.
So as we were discussing before we went on air, I think one of the primary reasons that you wanted to do this second interview and that I want to do it is to ensure that people know that this march is not going to be captured by any political party. We're not out there, and I will be there as the master of ceremonies and marching. But I'm not there to endorse any political party, and I'm not there to oppose any political party. I'm there to support parental rights and to oppose gender ideology. So, how would you comment on that, Bahira?
Yeah, so I definitely agree with you. At this point, it creates a lot of confusion because this movement is huge. So we have people coming, Canadians from coast to coast, and they have one objective. And our objective is protection of our children and ensuring the parental rights. However, this could be considered like a gain for any political party if this movement belongs to them. But we disagree with this concept. We disagree to be endorsing a specific party. Because we believe that this is what is going to protect this movement and make it authentic and make it inclusive for everyone. So we are welcoming all politicians, all political party leaders, all everyone who believes in the same cause. So we are not excluding anyone. If you really believe that this is something that you believe in, and even if you are in the opposition, in the affiliated with the government, please come and endorse us. And at the same time, we are not trying to limit freedoms of expression of anyone. If anyone really they have affiliation with a party, it's okay. You can mention this is my affiliation, this is what I'm standing for. However, I disagree with my party about those kind of policies. So it's fine. So our movement will not be directly affiliated with one political party, and we will not allow this to happen. We are neutral, and everyone is welcome to join us. We are for all Canadians, from all political affiliations, from all religious, ethnic backgrounds, and so I believe this is what is going to make it grow and protect this movement.
I did an interview yesterday with a former Liberal MP. You might remember Dan McTeague. He's now the president of Canadians for Affordable Energy. So he focuses on Trudeau's climate change plan and his attempts to make energy impossible to afford. But it was so refreshing talking to Dan. I got to know Dan very well during the marriage debate quite some time ago. I was very involved in an organization called Defend Marriage to keep marriage between a man and a wife. And that was a seminal year in my career. I took time off from my job to fight for this issue. Dan McTeague was one of those liberals, so we called them the pro-marriage liberals, who voted against his own government because he really, as a Roman Catholic, he felt he could not support the same-sex marriage bill. And he is continuing to be a principled member of society by opposing just about everything Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is proposing. He still calls himself a Liberal, and he says, yes, I was a Liberal MP for 18 years, and he represented 3 ridings, actually. They kept changing the name of the constituency, but it was basically Scarborough. So he was a Toronto area MP who had very socially conservative views, and I'm certainly going to invite Dan to participate in this march, because I think he represents exactly what you just said, that there are Liberals out there who are not comfortable with children being indoctrinated with gender ideology. They're not comfortable with a prime minister who says parents who suggest that they have the right to be informed about their children's gender decisions are far right, or shouldn't have that right. The state should usurp that right. And so I know there's a lot of Liberals out there who disagree with that and want to fight back. So I am going to invite Justin Trudeau to attend this event, as well as Jagmeet Singh. I can't see how either will attend, because it's completely contrary to their agenda. But in the interest of saying this is a nonpartisan event, I think they should be invited and at least given a chance to say, no, I'm not going. But interestingly, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre came close to endorsing the march. He was asked whether or not he was going to be participating, and he said he didn't know enough about it, but that he certainly thinks parents should be the final arbitrators of what their children are seeing and doing and participating in.
I have a couple of questions for you. Question number 1 is that what do you think about the million-person march, and will you be backing it or part of it?
I don't know yet enough about it. I understand that it's parents who are frustrated with government imposing contrary values on their children. My view is that parents should be the final authority on the values and the lessons that are taught to children. I believe in parental rights, and parental rights come before the government's rights.
And certainly, as far as making any decisions about changing, quote unquote, their gender, that should be something the parents should be involved in, not teachers. So I think that was highly positive, and I'm going to invite Pierre Poilievre. But once again, Pierre Poilievre is not going to make this a conservative march. It's a march for all Canadians. So I think that's very important to emphasize. I also wanted to touch on the interfaith element of this, because I think that's so important. I don't think there's a large segment of the population who thinks this is a Muslim-only march, but we certainly want to make sure that that's not the case. This is an interfaith celebration. This is an opportunity for people of faith in Canada to unify and to get together and to oppose something that many faiths disagree with. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, so I wanted to comment about the first point about the Liberals and how the government is changing the way or the original message of the Liberal Party and taking it to an extreme position. And I totally, it is very clear that this is not the how liberal or how the middle should be. So having people who share our message from the Liberal Party, I believe that we have a lot of members of, I have been affiliated with the Liberal Party myself, and this has been my position all the time. This is very clear, but so we are inviting them. And what I see is that many politicians and many people who belong to a party, they may be not willing to speak publicly about their own perspective, their own thoughts, express their thoughts, because it may contradict with their party. So this is this is not freedom of expression. So we are encouraging everyone to be authentic, to be true to themselves, true to their values, and we shouldn't be blindly following our party's direction. We should be following what we believe in. No one should agree 100% with their party direction. So this is definitely this is something that I see that it is really strange that like people who have political affiliation, they can have their own decisions. They have which can contradict with the party policy in different topics. So this is inviting all of them. We are inviting all of them. We'll be happy to have everybody, even who do not agree with us, even those who have concerns and who want to ask us questions or to have conversations. And I think this is one of the main objectives of this march, is to bring people together and to create like stronger connections between people who are in this march, and to send a very strong message to the government and to the to officials, and to make them accountable about their decisions.
I think that's a very good point. And if there's any doubt that this remains a critical issue for Canadians, I don't know if you saw the story last week out of Saskatchewan, but the Saskatchewan, Minister of Education is going down the same route as the New Brunswick Minister of Education and saying parents must be informed, that this is not a decision the schools, the teachers, the state can make. The parents must be informed. And the immediate reaction from the teachers union in Saskatchewan was to not just criticize this decision, but to completely suggest that teachers are the ones who should be making these decisions. Teachers are more important in children's lives than the parents. She actually said that.
Hello, my name is Samantha Beacott, and I am the president of the Saskatchewan Teachers Federation. On behalf of the 13,000 teachers across Saskatchewan, I'm here to express our deep frustration and disappointment regarding the Minister of Education's recent announcement of new parental inclusion and consent policies. Every day, teachers work tirelessly to create inclusive learning environments where all students feel welcomed and safe. However, this policy not only handcuffs teachers' ability to build trust, it also dangerously threatens the safety and well-being of Saskatchewan students. This knee-jerk reaction to an isolated incident is a significant overstep by the government. It not only politicizes our classrooms, but it also takes us down a dangerous path without any consultation with teachers or the public at large. I strongly encourage all teachers, parents, and students to reach out to your MLA and express your disappointment with these outdated policy changes. It is essential that we stand together to protect the rights and safety of our students.
That is the teachers who are the ones doing the real work here. They are the ones keeping the children safe. And there's that word about safety. And the teachers are the ones who should be making decisions on behalf of students. Now, it just amazed me that anybody could be that frank in making stupid statements like that, could be that honest about how authoritarian they are. But that's exactly what happened. So this is clearly a cross-Canada issue. It affects every province. And a lot of people have said to me, why are you going after Justin Trudeau? Because education is a provincial concern in Canada. Well, it's because Justin Trudeau is driving this agenda as our Prime Minister. He's driving this agenda. And unfortunately, here in Ontario, we have a premier who is supposedly a conservative, but is more on side with Justin Trudeau than just about any other premier in Canada. And he is, I think, absolutely failed parents. Absolutely failed parents. I supported Doug Ford replacing the last Liberal administration. I said absolutely nothing during the last provincial election because I was so disgusted with Doug Ford over his behavior during the COVID-19 pandemic. But I'm even more offended by the way he insists every student in Ontario observe Pride Month, and then if you don't, you're guilty of hatred. So I'm sure you would agree that it's not just Trudeau. We've got some very, very concerning premiers in this country.
No, it is not about only Justin Trudeau, and like the problem is more complex than anybody can imagine. It's a plan that has been put in place very long time ago, and it's an international plan. And demonstrations are going on all over the world right now, in Australia, in England, in the United States. So I believe that the origin of this is coming from the United Nations and the Human Rights Code. That is, and there are some interest groups, and those interest groups are influencing the Canadian politics, and they are trying to have politicians push politicians in different parties that will like execute their plan. So we have to be very careful about this, and having this march is sending a very strong message. And I believe that those changes have been, or those success stories in Saskatchewan and like regarding the parental rights and removing all the sexualization of children in schools are a result of activists who have been working very hard, and the push of the people to protect their children, and raising our voice and standing together and being united. This is it resulted in successes and success stories, and this will continue to happen, and this will hopefully we will have the whole country. And so I think that it is there is the power of people, and there is another power, or those groups who are funding political campaigns, who are pushing their views and their interest on some of our politicians and controlling our government policy. So it's like pushing back between people and those powers that are pushing or imposing on people, on us, those kind of they are going to make money out of that. They are going to benefit from different industries that are unethical, and they are not helping human beings. They are not helping children. On the contrary, and I believe this is one of the reasons we have those teachers. They're announced very surprisingly their views, because definitely there is control also. Who is funding those teacher associations, and what is the benefit that they are going to gain out of it?
Well, I think too, we haven't even mentioned one of the real villains in this whole gender ideology campaign, and that's Big Pharma. The pharmaceutical companies are making billions of dollars off of creating a false, fake crisis of gender dysphoria that doesn't exist for 99% of these children, insisting that they have intense anxiety about their gender and must change that gender. And they're doing this for a strictly profit motive because they're making billions of dollars. They made billions of dollars off of COVID. They're making billions of dollars off of this. And I think it's absolutely contemptible that they are getting away with this, and they're justifying this by saying that they're protecting children, that they're making it safer for children. It's so Orwellian. It is just so, it's inverting the truth so that they can continue to do their dirty work. And I certainly am going to be going after Big Pharma as much as I can, because I don't know if you watch TV today. I mean, and most of us are watching so much on social media. We don't watch a lot of TV anymore. But it's like 75% of the ads on television, especially during newscasts, are pharmaceutical companies. And it's amazing how, while they're telling you this is a miracle drug that's going to relieve you from your affliction, the small print is telling you that you could die of a heart attack, have a stroke, or something, or some other catastrophic event if you take the drug. And yet they are driving the advertising right now, and it's absolutely astounding that this is continuing, and they are in bed with the activists on this, because they are making money off of it. But want to get to one? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I believe that there are different industries. One of them that you have mentioned, the pharma industry, and there is another industry which is the prostitution industry. By opening sexual relationships, by teaching students that I can hear an echo. Yeah. So by teaching students that their human rights are of having sex at any age, at any stage, and what they are taught is how to make abortion, how to protect this, or to hide this relationship. I think this is not serving as people. It's not serving our children. It is opposing all religious values. It is only helping those kind of industries that benefit from like those open relationships, and it is for money, and destroying the family also. It's for their gain, and also in addition to pornography and all those types of things.
Well, that's a perspective I wasn't even thinking of, but that's very true. Is the sexualization of children, yes, is aiding the whole sex industry. And it's I often say too that if children are allowed to consent by themselves about changing their gender, then you know what's coming next. Children will be allowed to make decisions about having sex at 12 years old, and it will no longer be illegal for adults to have sex with children. And that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's the next stage of this sexual revolution, is the normalization and legitimization of pedophilia. It has been coming for years. They have been quiet about it. They have been talking about it in parliamentary committees I have attended, where they've tried to suggest pedophilia is a totally normal sexual activity and behavior, and it should be legal because these people have a human right to do this. And of course, as soon as a human right is granted, whether it's falsely granted or not, it becomes a vested interest and becomes very difficult to repeal or to stop. And that's why I say to parents that this is incredibly important, that you retain your rights as parents, because parents in other totalitarian societies lost those rights. They lost them in Nazi Germany. They lost them in Soviet Russia. They don't have them in communist China today. The state makes those decisions. And if we lose that right, the chances of getting it back are very small, because then we have granted a human right to people who it is really no right to have. Teachers have no right to make decisions on behalf of parents. Children should not be making decisions. That's not a human right. That's a human wrong. So I want to wrap up by saying that I want this to be a truly interfaith march, and I'm going to be devoting a lot of my time in the next 3 weeks as we come up to September 20th, and it is September 20th. There's a couple of other events around the date that I don't think are helpful, but this is the event you need to attend. And I'm going to be reaching out to evangelical Christians, which is my faith group, and conservative Roman Catholics who I have worked with on abortion and marriage over the years, and to say that you need to be there too. You need to be out there. And if you have any problem with sharing the stage with other faiths, then you better look at yourself and say, that's my problem, not theirs. And I want to encourage evangelical Christians, all Christians, but I'm going to be reaching out to the ones who are most likely to oppose gender ideology and to oppose this whole program, and to say, you need to be there. You need to be there, just like you're there every year for the March for Life on Parliament Hill. You need to be there for this march, and I think it's going to supersede anything we've ever seen in this country.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. We need to put our hands, we'll be together united. Muslims, Christians, Jews, all like Sikh, Hindu, Buddhist, atheists, all kinds of like religious beliefs, social people from social backgrounds. So inviting everyone. So I just wanted to comment about the minor attracted person, because this is how they are planning to normalize pedophilia. So they play with the words, they redefine the concepts to make it more acceptable. So be careful if you hear this term, MAP, or minor attracted person. This means that it is someone, or it's a group that is normalizing pedophilia, and this is one of the main reasons that we see the sexualization of children who are at a very young age in schools, and we will never allow this to happen. No one will accept this to happen, and this has to stop all over Canada. This March, we have Kamil Sheikh. He is the founder of this movement. David, he is joining us, and we have Mahmoud Murra from Calgary, and we have a very wonderful team who are working day and night to make this movement a great success. And our website is www.handsofourkids.ca. So I'm inviting everybody to join and register. The date is Wednesday, 20 of September at 9 a.m. The location is mostly the parliamentary legislative buildings in all provinces, city halls, town halls, and specific addresses and locations are going to be announced on our website. My name again is Bahira Abdulsalam. I'm always updating people about the progress of this march, and we are opening the door for any organization, any association to endorse us and to join us. So we will join our efforts with everyone, and I see this as a start. It will not be the end. This march will be the start for ending this crisis that we have. I see this as a pandemic. This is the real pandemic that we are having. So we need to be careful, understand it, raise the awareness, know how to protect ourselves, our children, and ensure our freedom of thought, no thought control, parental rights has to be ensured, and children need to be protected.
And I guess on that note, we can close, but we'll probably do this again before the march and continue to work hard every day to not only make 1 million persons, but to make 3 to 4 million persons. I think it's going to be a phenomenon.
I forgot to mention something very critical.
Yeah.
That we have not been getting any funding or any donations from any persons or any organizations. So everybody of our team are working to like they are providing kind of volunteer work so far. If we are going to announce our need for fundraising, we are going to announce it publicly. I will make a video to tell you. However, surprisingly, we found some kind of hijacking to the name of Kamal al-Sheikh, and some people asking for donations on his behalf. Camel, he didn't ask, and he doesn't have any fundraiser. So if there is any fundraiser, it will be on our website. So please be careful. Don't give any money for any organization on our name. If we are going to ask for funding, it will be on our website.
Okay, that's good to know. I don't think I was aware of people trying to fundraise on behalf.
We just found out yesterday, last night. It is surprising. We find that, like, there are all kinds of pushback against this movement, and however, it is very strong, and it will it will be an amazing movement, and everybody will be very happy. It will be successful, and all of those, we will overcome all those obstacles.
Okay, on that note, we'll say goodbye for now. Thank you for joining me, Bahira. It's always a pleasure to talk with you and to listen to your perspective on this. And we will be, as I say, continuing to fight every day to make this a huge success. And I'm going to put every bit of energy I have into it. So thank you for joining us. And people, thank you for watching Stand on Guard. And we'll see you again next time.
Thank you so much.
Hi, it's David Krayden here. Thank you so much for subscribing and supporting the station. We could not move forward without you. What we're trying to do every week here is bring you the news you might not see everywhere else. And we're coming against Justin Trudeau's internet censorship laws. Please subscribe, ring that bell if you haven't done so already. I know it's annoying to ask. Believe me, I'm not a salesman. I'm a writer. But I really implore you to do that because I need this station to keep going. We want to keep bringing you the news that you want to hear. And if you want a story covered, let me know, please. Because that's where I'm getting a lot of news information from your tips. So thank you for being there for me. And you can also support this station by going on my Substack and subscribing for $8 a month. Yes, I know it's free, but I can also use your support. So please do that if you can. And I'll continue to be here every week, every day if must needs be, to tell you what's really happening in this world of ours. And I'm in nobody's pocket, but I am on your side.